What's up? Let's make sure we got sound. How's everybody doing? This is the Ivy League live stream. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you're new, I'm Justin. This is the Ivy League live stream. We're going to cover a whole lot of stuff. I hope you guys are doing great. Let me make sure that we have sound. Yep, we got it. We're good. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope y'all are doing better than I am. Anyway, so what a day, guys. What a day. We had an action-packed fucking day in chat. If you don't know, we're live Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 4. All right, I'm going to come on earlier tomorrow morning. We were short and long. So we had 2 shorts and a small long, and it was a good day. If you were there with us in chat, again, we do this stuff free. All right, I come on at night, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Give us a game plan for tomorrow, at least a recap on what happened. Come up with ideas. If you guys have any questions, or you guys have any tickers, go ahead and throw them in chat. This is when the party starts. Okay, we have I'm gonna tell it to you right now. Let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. What's up, Cons? I hope you're good, Brody. What's up, my guy? I'm gonna be possibly the only one to say this. I don't think we get that much volatility with the Fed meeting unless they really start talking about this balance sheet, or we don't get a rate hike, or we don't get 0.25% and we get 0.5%. Okay? Of course, my little girl that I need to spend time with before she goes comes in. Oh my gosh. That's it. I'm just going to let her go. She can do whatever she wants. Just what you got to do. You got to let them go. Let them live their best life. Let them go. All right? It sucks. It is what it is. Sometimes you just got to let them go. Take that for however you want to take it. So anyway, I'm sorry. Now she just keeps wanting to run in and out and stuff, and I almost had her over here. Yeah, I just been thankful. Listen, we've been on the right side of the market, guys. Tonight, I'm going to show you the next runner. The next, what is our job? Our job is to find where's money going, where's money leaving. All right. I think I got one for us. All right. This is something else I've been looking for, guys. When I first started this channel 5-6 weeks ago, all right, we were on crypto before BlackRock. It was a setup, and then you had news to help pump it up to where it's at now. 2, we were on BABA before everyone else. This past week, go Sunday night, go to last week. We had a measured mark. We've been talking energy and banks. Now, banks probably changed with this news that I'm going to get into real quick. I'm going to try and speed through this, so I'm sorry if I'm talking fast. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. These are the days that I've been looking for. Let me go back to what I was saying. Fed meeting. I think it would not surprise me if we close right around where we're at. Where we open, however the day trades, and then we kind of, the only way it's an event is if something is a surprise, like we don't get a rate hike or we get more than 1/4 basis point. Okay, but 1/4 basis point, and also the balance sheet is so big, a lot of people aren't talking about it because it's like, are they scared to start doing something with it? It's still up at $9 trillion. We've been talking about financial conditions. Financial conditions have still eased. So I know what it is. I got to open the window for it. Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness. So she sits in the window for like an hour or two before she goes to bed, and that's what it was. The window was closed, so that's my fault, guys. I apologize. Unless the Fed says something that's a surprise, like the balance sheet reduction, where he starts hitting that not one more extra rate hike. We're going to get two, like they're talking about more rate hikes. Then we could see the market really start to price in, hey, you're going too fast. Just like me on this live stream. So we had banks today, guys. So there was Bank of California and PacWest. We caught this quick. I traded Bank of America. All right. This was pretty quick. Again, you can join us live right here. Ivy League Trading, YouTube.com. We trade live. Let's go to Bank of America. We got the news. We got it quick. Why did I go to Bank of America? All right. Bank of America has a tendency to be weak. Look where it's at. These are how you want to start looking at sectors if you don't know. Let's say you get a piece of bad news, right? Look at Bank of America, okay? And then we'll pull up JP Morgan. JPM. Look at it's way up here. It's way up here. Testing highs. Look at Bank of America one more time. All right? Bank of America at lows. These are how you want to, like, and this stuff comes with time, guys and girls. If there's any women here, ladies, gents, this kind of stuff comes with time. So we get the news. We don't know really if the news is good or bad. It's obviously bad because they shouldn't have to do anything. This is a way for them to raise money. You've seen Silvergate, SVB. They all tried to raise money prior to coming out with the news. All right. This is going to lead in, guys. So pay attention. So with that, it doesn't matter if there's something going on. That means that there's an issue of liquidity. They're doing something because of something. That's the only reason you do anything. You get a drink because you're thirsty. You eat because you're hungry. You don't just say, yeah, we're going to merge for nothing. There's something going on. Janet Yellen said it, and I can take you back to the S&P where it happened, where Janet Yellen, before we actually started our rally, it was our last range. Janet Yellen, when we took off out of that pennant, Janet Yellen was still saying we need more liquidity. The banks still need more liquidity. You can hear them say one thing, but they're doing another. Don't listen to them. The only time you listen to them is when they're really just talking at places and like the news, big news stations aren't really picking it up. You know, she was saying that they still need more liquidity. So Bank of America is where I went. So you could do like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. You want to find like the weaker names of the sector if it's bad news, and you want to find the strongest if it's good news. Now, chances are you could actually look at it both ways. You know, like, so WFC is still, it's better than Bank of America. It's just Bank of America has been sluggish. So I was short Bank of America. It was a quick trade, maybe 15 minutes or so. I didn't alert it. I did say it. All right. I did say it on the mic and everything. I mentioned that the news came out. So what is it that they're doing? So they're merging, and they're raising. So again, it's Bank of California and PacWest will merge in an all-stock deal to create a bank with $36 billion in assets, the companies announced Tuesday. The lenders also raised $400 million in equity from investor management and advised by Warburg Pincus and Centerberg Partners. The combined bank will have $25.3 billion in total loans and more than 70 branches in California. It will be based in Los Angeles and led by Bank of California. So in short, there's a liquidity issue, and they're doing what they can as a band of brothers, I guess, to be able to say, what can we do to help spur this problem? So what happens when we go down the road if we're still in this? Do we get like all these banks start merging, or you start seeing more merges? Okay, there's only so many ways to skin a cat, if you know what I mean. You get this happening, and then what happens after that, after they've already merged, and there's like, how do you merge anymore? You go down if it gets that bad, if they let it get that bad, because the Fed has to raise their balance sheet to provide liquidity. Yes, in turn, those debts or those bonds or what assets that they do have, when they do run off, they will pay the Fed back. The Fed gets paid back. It's a matter of time, but they still have to raise liquidity to get it in there and get it going like now. So we got to talk about that. They're going to talk about the banks. So we got to hear what they say about the banks. If we start getting a surprise, we got to see what happens, guys. So I was short Bank of America for about 10, 15 minutes or so. Got in around 20 cents, got out at like $26.50 after commissions. It was like 27, 28 I got out at. on those puts. So it was just a nice little trade. Got the news, hit the downside. Actually waited for the bounce back, caught the downside. It was a decent trade. It was actually really early. It was actually in here when I got in. I got in on a retest of a 9 EMA, right here. Caught the extension, boom, out. It was in this candle. It actually, when this opened up, it kind of just went. So, and I think I was trading on a 3-minute. I was actually, what's funny is I was trading this on the 15-minute, and I didn't even realize it. I had the 15-minute chart up, and I'm sitting there this whole time, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to take profits. I took it here. I was actually trading it on the 15 minutes when we got it. And then I switched. What happened was I switched charts, and then I'm like, all right, so I was in it, and I was kind of like looking around and seeing how it was. Because Pac West was down 20-some% off of that news, guys. So let's see what Powell says about that tomorrow. I need you guys to understand NASCAR, how you doing, my guys? Good to see you. Didn't we say it last night? Spotify. I said it last night. I said it Sunday night. Look at the chart patterns that they were telling you. We even got it with Microsoft. It's not always like this. Let me stress to you. Look at what I was watching on Spotify, and then I'm going to get into the reason why. This is where, being a professional trader and being somebody you may not know all this stuff or think about it. And it's not a surefire thing, but in the environment that we're in, this is the kind of stuff that I think should play out. Look at that nice rejection off the 200-day moving average. All right. This was my first sign right here. I'm like, man, that's a beautiful rejection off the 200-day. Do we fall back down to at least test the 9 EMA? Look at the extension away. Boom. Came in, and you did have some volume there. A little bit of volume. Nothing crazy. But today, obviously. So, again, before the market opens, I give you guys my targets and what I'm thinking. I give you a list of stocks. This was one that I gave out. I said on the bounce back, we're going to be short Spotify. All right, I played BABA. That was where I got my money today. I was short BABA. That netted you at least close to just under 100% gain in the 96 puts that we were in, and we got them early. All right, you didn't even have to hold it, but maybe 3 hours, 2 hours. Really, we got the move in the morning, and then it just kind of, took its time. Now, again, with trading and time comes being able to know how BABA trades. I expected to be in that trade for quite a while. All right, because I've traded BABA quite a few times, and, this again is a probability game. All right, it's a probability game. You have a stop loss. You got to use your stop losses because they really help you. In the morning, I said, I'm looking to go long. Did I think we were going to make new highs? No, I didn't. But if I had to pick a direction in the markets, I was leaning long, and I'll show you why. So we have that. We have Microsoft. We have Google earnings. I'm going to go over them. I'm going to show you where I want to be short, where I want to be long, what I want to do, where we wake up, how things play out tomorrow. I don't know about the guidance with Microsoft. They said that they do that usually in the earnings call. But I will say that there was a lot of talk of this cloud services coming down with like AI and things of that nature. So like right here, after reporting slowing cloud revenue growth, and I found this everywhere else, and I can bring it up over here. So it's not as if like the earnings are bad or anything. It's just, it's a forecast of what is to come, Let's go into this Spotify real quick because I want you guys to learn something from this and realize what's going on. It did it with Snap today. So what do we have here? We have mid-cap tech companies, mid-cap, large-cap tech companies, and I'm not talking about Microsoft, Meta, Apple, things like that. So what we have with these companies like Roblox, maybe even Shopify. Shopify would be a large-cap tech stock to me. Whether it is, I don't know. I'd have to look at the market cap, but I wouldn't call it a mid cap. It might be. Maybe I'm wrong. But so why was I short Spotify? Okay, I have been saying this. You all these stocks that were the last to start the rally. We had Nvidia, your AI names, not really your AI names, just safety stocks, big cap, mega cap, large tech Large cap tech. Mega cap tech. Sorry. Say that 3 times fast. Okay. So we had them lead. And then what did we have? Which I called out. I said, guys, we're starting to see the mid cap tech companies being bought off of the bottom valuations. All right. And they started to go. We could start to see. And I said, I don't know if it's this quarter, maybe next quarter, and maybe the following. I don't know. I'm not a psychic. It's a probability game. But if I had to say, it's starting just by seeing this and seeing Snap. A lot of these companies that took off, and you might see it with Coinbase. A lot of these companies that took off, the valuation, okay, forward-looking PEs, what are they trading at? Are they 20 times earnings, 30 times earnings, 15, 60, 50? Well, if some of these mid-cap tech companies are trading at 60 times earnings, 50 times earnings, 30 times earnings, the institutional fund managers, I would assume, would take the profits because, again, earnings tells all. I have been told that like years ago, and I've stuck by it, and it always usually works. The market usually tends to go with earnings. Earnings first quarter weren't that bad. We're coming into this quarter. It seems as though the valuations aren't making sense in some of these type of names. Technology mid-cap companies trade at a higher multiple. They don't have to put on that type of risk when you still have some of the Dow names, lower multiple names like energy that pay dividends. You also got to remember, because you have interest rates where they're at, so they're going to nibble on them. They're going to be buying energy. They're going to be buying these low multiple names. If these companies don't continue to report what it is that they're trading at. All right. And that's the issue that we're running in. They just ran, it was like they started, and you got to remember last year, okay, 2021 and even 2022, fund managers lost money. Okay. Whether they're net long, net short, whatever. If they were short, great. They did great. But when you have money that you have to put to work, and you put money to work, and all stocks are down and bonds are down, so you're down on both sides of the aisle, you're going to have to figure something out, because you do it again the next year, you're going to be out of a job. They don't want that. So what did we have? We had Mega Cap Go. Where was the value? All right, well, Coinbase was $30 stock, and I said to myself, how was I not a buyer at $30? Whether it's worth it that or not, I mean, it's $30. You can spend X amount and buy 15, 20, 30, 40, 60 shares, whatever. I don't know, whatever you have. It's still, it was a good price to nibble on it. Well, the nibbling started, and then it was like everybody just flocked to it. It's like being at a flea market and somebody's got the best tomatoes, and they just, everybody's just at that one station. That's this sector. And I'm going to get into the sector where I still think money's flowing into. All right. And I'm going to give you guys that. You guys may or may not already know some of them, but we're going to see how they play out. And I'm going to be buying shares, and I will grab some leaps on them. All right. And I've said it for about a week or so now. It's not just today, wasn't just yesterday, but last week. All right. So Spotify, they had new subscribers, whatever. Again, it comes down to the money. It comes down to the money. What are you bringing in? You're trading at X amount. If you're not growing and bringing in new money at a certain rate, or if you just don't even make it nowhere near what you did last quarter, the market is going to, price that in, or, the market can only do so much. Depending on the company, maybe they let a quarter slide, but then the next quarter things are bad. All right, it's either you're a growth stock or a value stock. If you're a growth stock, you need to be growing. If you ain't growing, you're going down. We'll find out where this gets balled up at. All right, because my thinking is, as we continue down this road, now, not necessarily a company like Spotify, but maybe, you got a lot of these companies who got money and raised money at low interest rates. Okay, hopefully a lot of them locked in that debt at long-term rates, because now when that cash runs out and they have to raise money, all right, it's going to cost them more. They're going to get less because they're not making money. So now they're going to pay more interest on less money. Okay, taxes are higher. You're getting ready to come in for the consumer with this college tuition stuff, energy prices. All right, we've been calling that out. Home prices are still high. Rent prices, it's going to catch up, and they're going to be cutting some of this fun stuff. And when they get to valuations that just aren't there, you may even in a year or two start seeing some companies go out of business. Now, I've came on this live stream before and I've said, pull up the unemployment and Fed funds rate and look at what you see. You can go to fred.com. Just 5 to 6 instances that I pulled it up. Okay, we got to the interest rate peak. It was a little over a year, and then you got the unemployment tick up. And then before the unemployment tick up, they held rates where they were for, I don't know, maybe a couple months, and then bang. Every time is different. Liquidity is different. Things that are going on are different. So you got to give it some time. It doesn't mean it's going to be a year. It could be less. It could be a little more. All right? Go look it up. It's important because then you'll be able to say at least 6 times in history, it was at least a year. Almost, and 3 out of the 5 times that I seen it, it was literally a year. It was like a year. It was like 12 months to 14 months is when you got the unemployment tick up. We're still getting rates. So we may not start seeing things. My thought is till February, like March, April of next year is when we start seeing things. Maybe it's longer, maybe it's shorter. I don't know. I'm not worried about the move. I'm worried about intraday moves, momentum, and news and stuff like that. It's fun to try and call moves, but like nobody knows. They can say it all they want, but it's like who knows where the S&P is going to end at. It could end up higher. It could end up lower. All we do is we get news and we read and react. Let's go to the banks. So I want you to remember that with mid-cap tech companies, just watch them. See out of like the 10 mid-cap technology companies that have earnings, like because we still got a whole lot more. We haven't even gotten through them yet. See if the majority of them are going down. Okay, let's just see if that thesis is right. That they're at valuations that, they can't, they can't. They're not bringing in the money. All right, they're at valuations where it's not that they don't belong there. It's just that, their earnings are not driving with the share price at the end of the day. And then what does that also mean going forward? Because it's not just this quarter. What about the next 2-3 quarters? Things are going to, they should, start to get a little bit more difficult. And again, I'm still watching small caps. Not small caps that like we trade with random news, but small caps as in companies that run out of cash. They have no PE. They just have P. They don't have any type of earnings. They don't have earnings. They're trying to get to a place where they can have earnings and have positive EBITDA. All right. So do some of them start to go under? All right. We called Spotify. Again, it was the chart pattern. It told us that 200-day weekly moving average, and it just sold off. They got ahead of the move. Their thesis is probably my thesis, and it's starting to play out. I was actually surprised, but it didn't surprise me. I said, "Wow, this is This is telling me that I'm doing a good job on my analysis." And if you guys want that, I give it here. I give it in the mornings. I trade live right here, Ivy League Trading, YouTube.com, 7:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30 to 4, maybe after 4 with earnings and stuff. All right, so we're going to get into the good stuff, guys. So I'm going to get into Google and stuff. Let's go to banks real quick. I came in saying that I wanted to be long banks and stuff like that, and energy. I still like the energy factor. XLF, right? We'll just use XLF for an example. Now it's still off its highs, so have a look at this daily chart, guys. It pulled in a base and now it's trying to break out. On volume. Look at this volume here. Look at the volume on that breakout. Now, here is my thoughts on this. You guys need to think about it from your own aspect. You've seen what happened today with California Bank and I guess First Republic, or was it Pac West? It was one of those two. I get them both mixed up for some reason. I think it was Pac West. If all it takes is a 5-minute headline for a bank stock or the stock that you own to go down 20%, who in their right mind, even on an institutional level, is going to invest in that? Now, your JP Morgans, some of your bigger names are okay, but as far as retail, they're gonna catch wind of that too. It's the same sector. There are trails that go on because something happens. Where's the government going to go to? They're going to go to Jamie Dimon. They're going to go to what's his name from Bank of America. Like they're going to be affected in some way, some form. So it's safer to be there, but I'm really curious if the banking sector right now is not investable at the time. This is the time when banks should be able to make the most money, but it's just the Fed's done this really quick. You have an inverted yield curve is the problem. Okay, banks borrow on short-term rates and they lend on long-term rates. So therefore, in higher interest rates, banks should technically do better. They're bringing in more money instead of giving a loan at let's say 3%. Okay, now technically with it being at 6 or 5.5, and they're charging 6.5, 7, whatever, their margins are getting bigger. I'm not a banker, so maybe this goes deeper, but ultimately, in a higher interest rate, banks should make more money. Okay, they're able to charge more. So, this inverted yield curve is messing them up right now. So I think that I'm just looking at it from myself. Could I invest in the banking sector right now? Well, I don't think I could, because if it just takes 5 minutes from news that comes out of nowhere and I got to worry about it being down 10, 15, 20%, yeah, I can put in a stop loss. But some of these institutions can't just put a stop loss on, 500,000 shares, 2, 3, 4, 5 million shares. They just can't do that. That it's not that simple. All right, they got to get the orders out. They got to get it filled. And at what price? It's like, that's when you start seeing that steep drop, is when you start really getting that sell trigger going. And you've seen it. It only took PacWest 10, 15 minutes before it was down 20%. I'm pretty sure it was PacWest, right? Look at that, guys. It literally, let's look at that. That's a 1 minute chart. 1, 2, 3 candles. It went from I don't know. It did pop up, but we'll just say right here where it opened, $10.31 to $7 in 10 minutes. It did halt, so we'll say 15, 20 minutes. But still, you're talking a 1 minute candle here, 8% in one candle. So it's not investable right now. It's not. That headwind is still there. All right, that's all I want to go there. Now we're going to get into the good stuff, guys. We're going to get into the good stuff. All right, I'm going to give you guys my trade ideas, the sector I'm going to be eyeing up. So, real quick as well, if things do get bad or more news starts to come out in this banking sector, I want you guys to pay attention to this level on the SPY, because I'm kind of curious if we get back there. Let me do this real quick. I apologize. All right, and again, this is for informational purposes only. If you could, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. If you could like, share, and subscribe, invite some friends, ask questions, throw out your plays for tomorrow. Whatever it is, we're all here to help each other. We're a community of traders just trying to make some money. That's all it is. All right, so right here is where I was talking about the pennant and the base that the SPY put in. All right, if you notice right here, all right, see that pennant there? And then it obviously hits the downtrend and goes on to live a happily ever after type of life. All right, it's like a diamond shape. You have like a diamond here. See that diamond? All right, and then boom, boom. You see the diamond there? Yeah, that is a pattern. So that pennant breakout right here, right before we broke out, it was on this day right here. I think it's either this day or this day is when Janet Yellen came out talking about banks needing more liquidity. And now we're starting to see signs of that. The only reason they raise money is to be able to provide liquidity. There's a liquidity issue. All right. This could snowball. There could be more, guys. It's just, when does it start actually being meaningful and the market starts to pay attention to it? Because the market didn't really seem to care about it because, again, you have so much coming up. Japan, interest rate decision, ECB, we have Fed meeting. And again, I'll go out on a limb and say I don't think the Fed meeting is going to be all that big of a deal. We're not getting the volatility we used to get when inflation was running rapid and the economists weren't able to get the data right. So Look, it looks like we put in a small double top here on the SPY. I want to look to see, where it is that we open, what happens with Microsoft. So on the futures, we're at that key level of 460. All right, key level of 460 on the futures. We're not quite there on the S&Ps. So let's go to a 15-minute chart. So why did I come in the day thinking long? All right, I want you guys to look at this chart and start seeing these things. So we have a rally and we get up. Okay, we start pulling back. Look at this here. This right here is the sign that I would say the day, if I came in the day right here, and I would say, I got to look short, guys. You spend all pre-market putting in a double top and then you roll it over. Again, you came up to test it, during market hours. You came back up, reverted back to just test it to see if the sellers were still there, and damned if they weren't. Sellers were still there. Boom. You sell off, you get a pop. They're buying the dip. Well, what happens? You put in a lower low or a lower high, and then that was it. We sold off the rest of the day. We come in the day. We actually come in with a gap up. We trade sideways. But look at these highs. That's not even the high of the day. Look at this high. It's still lower than these highs. Look, see? Lower highs. Okay, this is a 15-minute chart. What do we have right here, though, where I changed my mind? I see that we got one support level, we got two, and we reverted back with what? Look at the volume there. All right, look at the volume. All right, these are things that you can use to tie things together. All right, we have somewhat of a it took it right back. When you see these candles take something right back, that's a story. You need to pay attention to it. Like if you have a day where we just go up and then the following day it just reverses and takes it back, chances are you got another 2-3 day move to the downside. Start remembering those when you see them. So we came into the day, right? Well, if I go here, I'm starting to see that we pop up. We had a nice big rally. What happened? You put in a newer high here, just about. You came right up to it. That's a sign of strength. Okay, it's pre-market, whatever. We sell off. We're trading flat. We're not trading down. We're starting to trade flat now. So now we've came down and we're starting to trade flat. Pre-market sells off right back into this whole area. It's just like $1.50, $2 range. And what's it start to do? Look at pre-market. You start putting in higher lows. All right, here's our low. We start the day. We come up. We bounce. Higher low. All right, we pull up. You stick the level. You bounce off of it. Higher lows. So I came in the day and said, I think we put in a higher low. Guys, I said this was my level to get long. It was 253.50 area is what I said. We can go back to the live stream and watch it. I said I want to see a pullback into this area, whether it's a little bit below, a little bit above, which it was. I said I'm looking to the long side. Whether or not we get a big up day or down day, I don't see it because we have Google, Microsoft, Fed, Japan rate decision, ECB. We get PCE and GDP numbers. I don't think we get a really extended volatile type of day. Well, they bought the dip. They're seeing the same thing I'm seeing as I'm looking at a chart. What do I start to see now? Now, tomorrow's Fed day, so it's going to be a little different. It's not going to look like these days here where you're putting in higher lows. But I would say, if I had to say, I would start to see this thing kind of top itself out and roll back over. That's what I would get from this unless tomorrow's price action tells me otherwise. All right. This was a decent sell-off in after hours, but I'm just trying to paint the picture for you to help you see the shift from being able to sense when you're going to go up. Because we spent a lot of time here. You spent 3 days right here. It didn't break. All right. And we have no reason for it to break. So that's the other thing. What's the reason for the downside? Well, it could have been with this bank liquidity issue, with them merging for a reason, but I don't think it was big enough yet for the market to worry about it. They just merged. That's all they did. They had to raise money. Okay, well, we start seeing more of that. Watch the banks or the market start to price it in, or does the market say, does it have to get to a certain point of being big? Maybe we pull back or something and kind of float around to like, before the dip gets bought again. Usually the market and people say the VIX is broke. The VIX is not broke. We just don't have a catalyst of that magnitude to move the VIX in a decent way. It'll come. The VIX ain't broke. I assure you that. All right. So we pulled up. Look, we held this whole area now, guys. Do we try for another run to the high, maybe fail, and sit here and consolidate to go higher? Or do we start rejecting and they let it pull back and then we get another shot? Maybe back down here at 450, 462 to go long. Again, Microsoft, we have Google going, so maybe the market will be, because now you got a 50-50. You got Microsoft that's and then you got Google that's good. So it's like we're stuck in the middle. We still don't have a clear direction. At least this is what I'm sensing. You can also use MACDs and stuff too, guys. So not so much right here in this chart, but usually you'll get like when a low gets put in, this MACD will put in a low. You'll get a new low and the MACD will put in a higher low. That tells you the momentum is also starting to shift. But this was my key here, along with the price action today, coming in pre-market. I said it, guys, pre-market. Right here we were long. 450, 350 area, I was looking to get long. Really, it was right here. It was like 54, right? 453, 54. Nah, it's 60. So I don't know where I got the 54 from. Yeah, probably right around this low. So that was that. It said to go long. Some members took a long. I did not expect us to get brand new highs. Could we have tested the new high? And also look at it in dollar value. You got to remember ATRs, average true rates. What's the SPY been putting in? Has it been putting in like $1.50, $2 ranges, like a percent and a half? A 0.5%, 0.75%. All right. Now a 50%, a 0.5% to 0.75%. 75 basis points worth of a move I could see. And that would still tell me that like that's still on the top end of it. All right. So what do we want to talk about? So first off, let's go into Microsoft real quick. All right. MSFT. What do I want to do with this thing? There's a lot of lines on here, so I do apologize. All right. I'm going to give you guys my my thoughts on this. All right. I want to see where we open up tomorrow. I want to see if we actually get a gap up tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know if it was that bad to get a gap down. I think it's priced in fairly decent. All right. I want to see if we can get back to this level here. And this level is going to be roughly right around, it's going to be, we'll call it 342. If we get a bounce back to why do I have those big lines up there? Right here. Not this one. This is not the one I want. And I'm on a 15-minute chart, right? All right. So where are we at right now? I'm going to show you guys something cool, too, that you guys can start doing, which helped me almost take an AMD long, and it really worked out. I didn't take the trade. Had Bank of America. I just didn't need to. I just, me personally, when I know I have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I got some real volatility coming. I don't want to screw that up. I don't want to screw that opportunity up by like getting in a trade and maybe it working against me, and now my psychology is a little messed up. And I also don't want to do it to you guys because I trade live. I want to put us in the best position possible. Again, this may not fit your risk tolerance, so don't take it. But I tell you what I do, all right, when I come on here. It may not fit your risk tolerance. If it does, okay, you're a responsible adult. It's your responsibility to, do your research and whether you agree upon it and take the trade or not, that's completely up to you. Maybe you take the opposite side of the trade. See how that works out. I don't know. So I'm going to look for a bounce back in Microsoft, guys. I want to see if we get our bounce back. First off, if we go to the daily chart, all right, I want to see if we're going to go back and test the 50-day moving average and reject it, okay? So where did we roughly close at? We closed at 337.95. Call it 338, okay? So let's go to the daily chart. I could even probably go to the weekly chart also to make sure there's not like some moving average here, which I doubt it because it's at all-time highs. So if we go to, what did I say, 338? Did I say 338? I did, right? Yeah, because that's what I want to do is get where are we at? 338 exactly. So we're at 338. I want to see if we can come down and test this 50-day. All right, so we're trading at 338 right now. Where's 338? All right, 338 should be right here. Yep, it's right here. All right, so let's do this. What do I see? What do we see? Well, the RSI MACD has kind of telling us. I know you guys can't necessarily see it, so I'm going to squinch it up just a little bit, make it easier and pleasurable on your eyes so you guys can see it. So we are trading right here, guys. We're trading right at this level. It's acting as resistance right now. Now, it all depends, okay? If we gap up, over this 338 level, okay, I'm going to look for a bounce back to 38 and then possibly get a movement back up to 342. That's a $2-3 move, okay? 2, 3, 4. That's a $4 move. This is where I'd like to get short if we don't get a gap down, all right? If we don't get a gap down, then okay. I want to see if we can get up to this area. Maybe it screeches up a little bit higher. So it's a little bit of an area. It's 342 to 343.50. 343.75. Call it 344. All right, so it's $2 range. It's a $2 range. Maybe it wicks, and tries to shake people out. And I'm going to be watching the volume. I'm just, join us live. I'll talk you through my trade. I'll talk you through what I'm thinking. Maybe I trade something else, but I will be watching Microsoft. I'm going to try and short the bounces. Okay. The important thing about this stuff, guys, is why you want to trade it, or why I trade it, is because volume, okay? We get volume, we get liquidity, we get movement, all right? So you need to know on a volatile day, what could we expect? On a decent day, what do we have here? 352.50 to 62, that's a $10 move right there. Okay, 52 to 62, that's a $10 move. Really, it's $11 if you want to add in the 50 cents. Another one, 45 to 57. Okay, that's a $12 move. So expect these. So we're going to say with this, we should at least expect a $6 to $8 move, at least 332 to 337. Okay, that's $5, but I think we get a candle kind of like this. Maybe not this big, but kind of like this. The moves happened. I want to see a bounce back and then get short at this level. I'll pull up the 15-minute chart to make it easier. Write this stuff down if you don't have it. And I'm going to get into the sectors I want to show you guys. It looks like it's struggling right here, guys. It looks like it's struggling. What do I ultimately want to get to? We have a double bottom down here at 327. But can we get that far? It's going to take a while for it to get that far. I don't know if it will. My goal is to try and get this thing to test the 50-day moving average. This is where I'd like to see it. 333. So if we're at 348, 338. We're at 338. 333. That's enough. That should be enough movement to get us down there. So if we get a bounce back to 342 and we're short down to 332, that's a $10 move. That's the average true range. So it's starting to make sense, right? If this stock is truly weak, we should get a bounce in the morning, and maybe we get it with the SPY. Again, it's Fed day, but there's a catalyst with this. All right? They're unsure about the future. So if we get a gap up, or if we're where we're at, again, that's where I'm going to be shorting bounces. Join us on the live tomorrow morning, and we'll go over all that when we wake up. Worst case, I want to try and get it 342. Well, I already said that. So 342 is the move. If we don't get it, it's hard to say if this thing gaps down. It's hard to say what happens with Microsoft now. Maybe the move gets taken from us. Maybe it does. If the move gets taken from us, then I'll look to just take a quick bounce off the 50-day moving average. Because you still have people that are short from here, guys. They're going to want to be taking profits. They got a big move now. Whoever has been short Microsoft at these highs, now they have a reason to take profit, because you've went from 366 all the way down to potentially that 50-day moving average, which is going to give you almost a $40 move, $40 move. That's at the 50-day at least. So we're going to look to get this thing back down in this range, guys, because if you look at it, there's 3 ranges going on here. All right, you have 3 ranges. You have the low end, middle end, top end of the range. All right, what part of the range are we trading at? All right, so right here would be the top range, right here. Here's your first range, right here. See that? Here's your second range, right here. Trading right here in between these, and then the top range is obviously outside of this, and then it's from the high to this range. So right now we've worked our way back down into the bottom end of this range. Do we get back down here? You got a double bottom down here. I don't know if we have any gaps that need to be filled, so you'll look for that. Just be mindful where your moving averages are. All right, that's where you want to look to. That's where I was looking to on Spotify. You know, that's what gave me the conviction to say, hey, this stock is weak. The earnings and the price action is matching my thesis to the downside on these mid-cap technology names that are trading at a high multiple, that it's not reporting as as a stock that should be trading where it's at. So earnings should tell all, guys. So I guess there's a slowing growth in demand for their cloud business and stuff like that, the usual. Again, I have to go back and do some work. I had to go run to the store, get some cat food, so I don't know about, whether they raised or lowered guidance. I will look into that. Look at Google, guys. Look at the pattern that this thing put in. It's not all the time that I say, hey, I had this drawn. I had this flag drawn. It broke out, pulled back right to it, held it, and then you've seen it come up the past couple of days, and everybody's been talking about Google dying. I'm like, that's the perfect reason for this thing to go up along with the pattern. All right, look at that, guys. Isn't that just like a perfect pennant? Let me go to an hourly. Once you start looking at things before earnings, and I like to do that, is like pull up the chart and actually look at it. Like, what is the street telling me? What's Wall Street telling me? What are they telling, psychologically showing themselves on the chart? What are they telling me? Well, this told me that Google found support on that upward downtrend line right here. There's a shakeout. What it did was, and we talk about this, it's going to be in the next sector I'm going to talk about. All right. What happens is this is how stocks make their moves. All right. You rallied, right? You put in your base, had a little bit of a shakeout, rally again. Find your footing, put in the base, bring in new money. Weak hands get shook out. You rallied out of the base. Boom. That it's just, this is the second stage now on to a third stage of the rally. Rally, put in a base, break up and out. Try and shake them out with weak hands. There's only so many days before, it's not going up anymore. It's not going up anymore. And then bang. All right. Same thing. Look at all the days that it sat up here, brought in new money. Bang. Look at the RSIs here, guys. They never got put in lower RSIs. It was always steady Freddy. If that's even a thing, I have no idea. So, all right. What am I going to look for with Google? I think we first have to bring up the weekly chart. It's one that's been, and look at it. It's been sticking the 100 weekly moving average to a T. Look at this. Boom. Just pulled right back in, found its footing, bang, off to the races. Where are we looking? I mean, right here's your, man, you got a gap fill here, guys. There's a gap there from I think it's already trading up here though. 133 to 134. 130, it's a dollar gap there. Let's go to the daily. That'll give us a clearer picture. All right, that was the weekly chart I was just at. And it did it on the 50-day, right? It did. Look at it just sticking the 50-day. Just holding it, and it's putting in higher lows. It put in a lower low, shook them out, and gapped up. That gap up is what is key. These are things that I just learned. Look, gap up, gap up. That's strength, guys. That's strength. And look at the volume increasing on the way up. That tells you they want in, that this stock's undervalued. A lot of this stuff takes time. A lot of this stuff takes time. I wish I'd have called this out in chat, but I didn't. I haven't really been paying attention to Google that much. Where is it trading at? I do apologize. We're at 132.70. Call it 133. 133. All right. Let's go to 133 area. And you know what? I wonder if I do this, guys. let's do something. Let's measure the move. We're going to measure this move here. I'll call it, let's say the move was right here. Okay, let's do this. We're going to measure this move real quick and see if this is like any insight on where we should be taking profit. Let me do this. Let's take this and move it here, right there. Boom. Let's go back. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see where this puts us. Where is this at? 140. So that's $10 away. And look, that's right here at the gap, kinda. There's a gap right there, right? Look, told you. Isn't that funny how it works out? Start measuring your moves. You got to start measuring your moves. If you don't know how to measure them, just ask me a ticker and I'll see if there's a move to be measured. Look at the head and shoulders. The head didn't, it's kind of crinched, like it's ducking. It looks like it's ducking all the retail traders from going higher because the head's lower than the shoulder. But anyway, let me just put this right here. So what did I say we were trading at? I'm so sorry, guys. We're trading at 133, right? Yeah, 133. All right, let's go find our levels. Let's get our level ready and be ready for tomorrow. And if you guys have any tickers or anything you want to go over, throw them in the chat. Any question at all, you can throw it in the chat. Okay, so 133. 133. So that's a small gap fill right there. That's 133.85. See, it skips. Let me get my chart. 133. 132.95. So we're going to say right here at this level. We're going to say right there. It is the top end of here. That's 133.70. See, this, it's a little tight. So right now we're on the bottom end of this base. Yes, we broke out here, and this is the top end of it. If you can't see it, sorry. See the top end of it right here? That would be the top end of it. I'll try and draw a line so you guys see the gap fill. See the gap fill there? See what I mean? So it's the top end. There's the bottom end of it. So we'll look for a bounce back. I'm gonna look. You have some gaps here. Where am I gonna look to be long or short or what? Again, we have Powell tomorrow. I don't think we're gonna get anything crazy because Powell's job is to not make the markets volatile. He doesn't want that. He don't want nobody to make money because that's just gonna hurt inflation. So if he just tells the market and does what he tells the market he's going to do, that's going to ease volatility. There's not going to be any uncertainty. For Lotto plays each day. Nice. Well, if I helped you at all, NASCAR, with the, think about these mid-cap, technically like mid-cap, large-cap technology stocks. Not necessarily, maybe like your Airbnbs. Like Uber's actually making good money. But like maybe like a CrowdStrike, like Spotify was just a perfect example of a company. Maybe Roadblocks, we'll see. Like those type of companies, those are more like larger cap tech companies, kinda. I'd have to look at the market cap to see whether they're a large cap or a mid cap. But those are the what else could there be? Like a Square, maybe even a Coinbase of sorts. Those are the companies that I'm going to be looking for to like see what happens going forward with the, with these earnings, and what they're trading at. It's kind of hard to just go through all these companies and see what their valuations are, but that's putting in the work, or just reading or just having the list of what companies we do have, and we still have a bunch tomorrow, Boeing, things like that. So if I go here, no, not twice. Let's go bring up our earnings, if it will. Okay. So today is Tuesday. So Snap was another perfect example. Tomorrow we have Coca-Cola, Thermo Fisher, Union Pacific, a lot of Dow type names, Boeing, AT&T. So CME Group, I don't know if I'd have to look at the chart on that. So, man, Google, we'll just got to look to be a buyer of the pullbacks. All right, well, we just got to look to be a buyer of pullbacks. I'll measure it out in the morning when we see where we opened. Maybe you get like a gap up to sell off, or we get a gap down and retest this, this area here. So let's get into some of the stocks real quick, okay? Cleveland Cliff. Look at Cleveland Cliffs today, guys. Let me bring it up on a daily chart for you. I think this is the next place that money is going to find a home. This is the perfect time. I did it financial. Oh, let's talk about real quick. We did this. Okay, we were early. This is setting up kind of like Ford. We called it out, guys. Here, you had a double bottom. We called it out like why it was doing this. Add up the time, add up the live stream. Members called it. We drew these levels out before they were there because we measured the move and we knew where we could expect it to kind of get to. We had our targets. Members, Colin will testify. Matter of fact, the live streams from this date, from 519 to what is this, 524, 530, I went over it and I went over it and I went over it. I said, guys, Ford, and this is when transportation was starting to break out. So we got the whole sector to move up. That's what's good about like catching some of these is you get these rallies where is money finding a home? It's coming out of something to go into something else. They're not just going to take it out and hold cash, especially when the dollar's like not necessarily going up. A lot of these institutions are long funds. They have to put money to work. There's pensions, there's retirements, 401ks, Roth IRAs. They have to put money to work. Where is it leaving and where is it going? So this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. We called this out. Now I don't want to do this and then I get like, I'm sticking my neck out there and then it doesn't happen. I'm going to be wrong sometimes. But I just try to tell you guys what I'm seeing, what's going on. So let's look at CLF. So what I'm getting at is materials, guys. All right, materials. And as you can see, if I bring this up, guys, look at today, guys. Basic materials was the leader of the day. Is this the shakeout we've been looking for to get a nice long position for the next month or so? Low valuation names, low multiple names that don't trade at a 30, 40 times earnings, that trade at a 5 or 2 or 8. You know what I mean? That's where the safety net is. That's what's on its lows. Fund managers need to get together, put money to work, and this makes sense. And if it makes sense, it makes dollars, guys. So what do we have here? I want to pan this out a little bit. Let me redo this chart. So what do we have? What was I telling you guys? Look at the rally, right? This stuff's important because it's what it does, all right? And it can take a while. Like, look at this rally back here to the left. Oh my gosh, please stop. I don't know why it's doing this to me. So here to the left, it rallied. It put in a really long base for years, obviously. This back here, you had the China tariffs going on. So it's a little bit different. But look at this move, guys. Bang. We've put in a base since then. What do we have? We had a small rally and a pullback to shake out the weak hands. They just seen this thing go up. They didn't take profit. They got scared. Now it's really selling off. Bang. And look at the volume shows the psychology and actions of people. All right? Look at it. I'm going to show you 1 second. Right here, guys. Let me make sure I get this correct. All right? Let me make sure I get it correct. Because I'm going to come correct. Look at all of the volume selling. Look at all the shakeouts. They just seen this thing rally. They're like, oh, it put in a double top. But they hold. They're like, maybe we'll get a bounce back. This holds support. It bounces back. Nope. You've sold off since. Now they're like, shit. I got to sell. I've missed out on technology. I've missed out on all these names. This thing's crashing. It hasn't done anything for me. What happened? You got to gap up. Guys, the gap up. So we have a rally. We put in a base. We sell off to shake out weak hands. Right? And then what do we come in? We come in with a gap up. That is another key sign of strength, guys. And look at the volume selling there on that day. They just had it. And then when they've had it, they come in to snatch it up. Right? 2-day high volume day, gap up. It actually gapped up a little bit here. It gapped up a little bit. And then they've ripped it. So look at the whatchamacallit. This is what I want to show you guys. All right? This is important. This is important because this is what I'm going to be watching for. And I'm going to base these off of my entries also. All right? I'm going to base this off of my entry. What do we have here? We have also a pennant also forming here. Okay? Now, I could take it from up there, but I'm not going to because this chart's going to go crazy on me. There's other names that are also this whole sector is starting to break out. All right, look at this pennant. All right, I could draw it from here to here, something. It's not that great, but this name doesn't get a lot of love. Look at the reverse head and shoulders there for that trade. So we've broken down, we've built up, we got support. Now look at the rally. Look at the volume behind it, guys. Also is what I want you guys to pay attention to. This is this footstep of financial advisors and like institutional ownership. Look at the volume there, guys. Look at that. All right, look at that volume. So I'm going to be using, look at the 100-day. What happens is we gap up above the 100-day, pull back to test it, which is also the downtrend. Boom. All right, there was earnings there. I've been talking about, and I've already measured out and got my stuff ready for U.S. Steel. Now this might be an underperformer. We'll find out, but it's also done the same thing, right? Oh my gosh, I don't like Thinkorswim for these reasons. You've rallied, you put in your base. You have not sold off. You could say it's a big head and shoulders. You could left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I think it's starting to catch itself because look, lower highs, right? Lower highs. That was a lower low, but this is lower than here and here. All right, the momentum has shifted, and I think you got people talking about it. Good, decent earnings. All right, multiples that trade at not like crazy valuations. Safety. All the reason for them to take their money out of something that they're worried about and put it into something that they're not, where it's fairly safe. Fairly safe, So look at the day they had, guys. They broke out today. I got to do a little more research on them and give you guys the list. But this is just something I'm watching for for the next month or so, okay? I'm going to go over my trade of the day and what else I think we can get from it. If we start breaking out of here, guys, watch out. It's going to go. It's going to go. Let me see also real quick. And I also noticed yesterday that SPY was kind of trading in line with the dollar again. There for a while, beginning of the year, you could just trade SPY off of the dollar. I've traded it off multiple things. I've traded it off the Qs. I've traded it off IWM. Whichever is leading, I will take and use that along with what direction I think. I'll have my direction, but I'll also see what the leaders are doing to get the timing on it. Is why I use it. If the IWM puts in a little pattern and breaks out, and the SPY is still there putting in its pattern, I'm like, okay, Dow, IWM are the leaders. Nasdaq's last, SPY middle, IWM or Dow. I'll say, hey, now I got my timing because one started. I'll expect the SPY to go, and then follow lastly the Nasdaq, and that's why the Nasdaq's down. It's not up where the SPY and Dow is at. So you could have used that to be, long Nasdaq for a small scalp, small little move during the day, whatever. That's just, that kind of stuff comes with time. It really does. So I was just looking at GLD right here. Look at it holding the 50-day right now. You broke above it. You gapped up, hit your resistance, pulled back to test the 50-day. Could we get another test of gold? Will the dollar pull back? Let's look at the dollar. I'm going to go over that BABA trade also for you guys. So show you guys my entries were perfect. Look at the dollar. Dollar's coming into, it's at resistance here, guys. Let's see if it breaks higher or lower. We'll see what happens with it. All right, see if it can pull back again and start bringing itself back down in these 90s area. It's already fallen pretty good. It's already given a lot back. Yields have still been on the rise. One thing I do want to show you guys is the VIX. All right, I feel like the VIX is, it's putting in a higher low. And usually you get your spike, it'll pull back, get a little bounce, it'll roll over, it'll make new lows, and then you get the, this was where we think we're going to be. I'm actually going to put a circle here, and we'll see what happens next year, guys. All right, we'll see if we get to this target there. Maybe I can make it a little smaller. What is this? That's July. Um, let me do this. Let me remove it. Let me just say, like, I want to see if we can get here. I want to see if we can get there. What is this? That's fine. I'm cool with that. Roughly. Let's see if we get there. You know what I mean? See if we end up getting there. It might take a little longer, shorter, whatever. We'll see. But anyway, so intraday, the VIX has been rising along with the market. That's a sign, guys. I always pay attention to that. Whenever I see the VIX rising with the market, that's always also because of volatility, like uncertainty with different things that are going on, because maybe it's going up because of earnings and they want to protect themselves because they don't know how earnings are going to be or what's to come from there. So you get some premium buying, or you get some hedging going on, some protection, I wanted to say. So let's go into my trade, and I'm going to go into a couple more that I'm looking at. That's the Qs. We'll go over the levels tomorrow morning. I still have to go through some things. Again, I was a little busy this afternoon. I kind of, since I started this, my relationship is going downhill. I've been trying to work on it, but I don't think that's going to be, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm trying and would do anything to fix it, and it's not, it's just something I can't help. So it is, it just is what it is. Hopefully she's happy and finds what she wants. But anyway, we're here to talk about the markets. CRM, it's kind of holding up. It's a Dow name. I want to see when it reports. Let's go into the BABA trade real quick. So I traded BABA today. All right, I traded BABA today. It was a beautiful trade, guys. I called it out before I entered it. I called it out while I entered it. So I know, like a lot of groups, it's a little like some are all different, obviously. But look at the pattern. Doesn't this look like Google? Where you get this pennant and then the breakout. I only took pre-market off because I'll use that because when I want to get my entries for my moving averages, when I want to enter at moving averages, it's like you got to remember time. Moving averages is not just price, it's time. It's time and price, but time. Time being the key word there. All right, so again, we talked about steel. That's where we wanted to that's a sector I'm going to be looking at. I want to see if banks start to pull back again. Maybe they're not so strong because this shows you the risk that's there. Just like that, it could just be down and you're like, dang, I don't want to be stuck with these. Why would you invest in something that is still obviously looming? All right. So we talked about banks. We talked about that. We're going to talk about the trade. We talked about Microsoft. So I traded BABA today. Early in the morning, guys. You could have got this trade, guys. It was a huge trade for us. You guys could have got this trade early. Just join us right here. LivelyLeagueTradingYouTube.com. So this morning, I'm coming in the day, and I haven't really got my mind made up on BABA. What do I want to do? Well, before this happens, let me just pull this up right there. Let me make that big for you guys. All right. So before I see BABA, okay, before any of this stuff happens here, maybe I should put pre-market on, maybe not. I don't know. What happens is we open up, okay, and I said, guys, I want to see, like, I don't really have a directional plan for BABA, but I will be looking to see if the pullbacks, if we do get a slight pullback to possibly go long again for BABA. All right. If I bring up the 15-minute chart, it was a little tough because we broke out of this range. We broke out of this range here. We've been just slowly making new highs. So we broke out of this double top right here. So I said, okay, if we pull back and we test 96, okay, I can make this smaller. I can put pre-market on to make it easier to see. I have to watch it back. There's a double top here now. After the news about Ant and their IPO that they're going to do, they're not going to like tie, I guess, with tying it into theirs and financially and stuff like that. So I said, we'll pull back into yesterday's close, yesterday's highs, see what we do. Can we make this support and climb higher? Is that news that big? Like, is it big enough to make the stock move and possibly get back up here to test the 102? Well, we just broke out of this downtrend. I'm still curious if we were to get a pullback. So I got both sides of the trades going on. All right, what I'll do is I'll put this on so we can see it. See, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I didn't want to do it. It's going to be too far out. So let's just stick to it. I apologize. So if we did, depending on the way that we pulled back, I said, if we pull back and can hold yesterday's close, yesterday's high, which would be right here. If I go into it, see right here, see these tails? See these tails that we had there? We couldn't close above it yesterday. Couldn't close above it. So I said, I want to see if we pull back and we get buyers there. All right. I didn't even have to wait for the pullback to be told, not today. This level ain't holding, not today. All right. If we did, though, then I obviously had my levels ready. I had my targets, this, that, the third. All right. Let's go to a 3-minute chart. All right. This is where I'm going to show you where I entered, why I entered, and if the trade did something different, how would I know if it would have turned into a long? Like, these are the things I tell myself, I draw it out, and it tells me if I'm wrong. Okay? And ask yourself, has anything about the trade changed? Has anything about the stock changed in the trade? If you're short, has anything changed? Like really changed and said, yeah, I think this stock is shifting to the upside. I don't want to be short anymore. So I came in, guys, this was nuts. This was nuts. You can't really see this green candle here, so I apologize. Look at this 3-minute candle that's get puts in, and I'm telling you guys, it just shot through the level right to it. Look at the volume, guys. On a 3-minute candle, it put in 2 million shares to the sell side. That's all I needed to know. That's huge. Sorry to yell in the mic. Look at that volume. Heavier than anything we had yesterday, let alone it's heavier than the majority of what we had yesterday. It's in a 3-minute candle. Weakness. It opened up, they took profits, and a lot of them took profits. So right there, I said, yep, I'm going to be short Baba. And I said it in chat before I even took the trade. And I said, I'm going to look for a bounce back to VWAP 38.2, 23.6 fib. Wherever we on the bounce back, I'm getting short. I'm getting short. Verbatim is what I said. All right. What do we have? All right, let's dig into it. Now the moving averages are going to change just a little bit because again, this VWAP is now pricing in the rest of the day. Okay, it's pricing in the rest of the day. So it's going to be a little different than when all of this isn't there. What did we get? We got a bounce back off of yesterday's highs. All right, right here. It's roughly, it's right at the support level. Support or resistance is like an area. It's up to you to determine how much that area is, blah, 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 blah. I could say this area is from down here from 96.70 up to 97.05. So there's like a 30-40 cent range there. All right. So I get short Baba, and I come on the mic, and I said it before. I said, even during this candle to the downside, I said, guys, is there any news with Baba? I didn't get any responses. We just started the channel, so I wouldn't expect to get too many. I was kind of looking. I didn't see anything at first. I didn't hear anything go across the squawk box. So with literally, guys, 2 million shares sell side candle right off the bell, guys, 945, 942. Guys, all it took was the bounce back. I got the bounce back to VWAP. I was short. What did I do? I got the bounce back to VWAP. As soon as we get that extension through the level, I got one contract off. We get the follow through. Got the next contract off. And I was actually out of this trade here. All right. I went in and I went in. All right. Again, what did I tell you earlier? I have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that I'm more concerned about. I do not psychologically want to get messed up from a trade. I just want to get in, get my base hits, whatever. I felt comfortable and I said in chat, this is good to hold. Listen, you've seen the circle probably that I had up there, but guys, the only thing that would tell me if anything has changed is if BABA started trading up there above VWAP, bounce back, and you start getting up, closing up here to this high, then the trade's changed. All right, I'm taking this off, but again, I move the Fibonacci back down. What do we have? Now we have a 38.2 Fibonacci, VWAP, all meeting up right here. Rejects again. I had 10 contracts. All right. I usually will buy 10 contracts. I'll buy more. At the SPY, sometimes I'll buy 50 contracts. All right. So I got everything I needed out of this trade because I timed it so perfect right here at VWAP. What did I get in at? I can't even remember what I got in at. I was up like $25 a contract, $30 a contract. So I just took it. I'm like, that's all I needed. I'm eating. I'm home. I'm good. But there was follow through, guys. And I said it on the mic. I said the volume is going to be skewy because it's a China stock. But the volume, consistently told you it came in at this area higher than any. You had no buying. You really didn't. And it didn't mean anything. Because the sellers were just right there to just rip it right back down. Ripped it back down. Rip it. It was an easy trade. There wasn't anybody in chat. If there was somebody in chat that would take it, I'd have helped walk them through it and say, listen, I'm only out because I'm waiting for my big trades to happen Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like, I got it. I don't need to worry about, I'm focused on some things for a reason. All right. I wanted to get on base and get things going. All right. So this thing never broke above VWAP. You technically didn't have a reason to sell. Now, what I'll do with the SPY or anything that I'm in is I'll put a mark where I think, I'm like, if the stock gets here, that's doing something different. Now, that's a change in the direction. But I had a 2 million share candle, this, that, the third, so I knew the momentum was to the downside. And playing BABA, when you get stuff like this, it's going to give you an all-day trend. All right, as long as it's not closing back up here and reversing itself and the volume isn't picking back up, which it didn't. All right, I can bring the volume up here so you guys can see it. The volume never did anything. The pullback was on lighter volume, guys. The thing is I took out so many and I honestly just took so much off. I didn't realize that, like, I was kind of like, once I realized how many contracts I had left, I was out on this tail at the 50-day. There's a little 50-day that you guys can see here. It's not that I used the 50-day for any, because 50-day is for a long-term moving average. It's not a momentum moving average. It's not for short-term momentum trading. All right. I just took it off on the tail, guys. That's all I did. Again, if we had people in chat, if you were in chat, join us tomorrow. I put us on this type of side of the trades, guys. I put us where we should be at. All right. There's a reason why I'm there. There's either a catalyst, there's news, or it's a technical setup. That why am I where I am? Why am I on BABA? Why am I on Spotify? Okay? They both worked out. All right? I seriously couldn't ask more out of BABA. It gave me $20, $25. Literally in 10 minutes. I was like, I'm all right. I'm good. I don't need to wait and sit through a whole thing. Now, after locking this in, I turned my attention elsewhere, but I can tell you right now, if I was still watching BABA after I took profits, I can tell you right now, I would have taken this right here. I'd have taken another entry here because that is a surefire increase in volume, like a rejection at VWAP. Okay, you got to read them. You got to read the chart. You got the rejection at VWAP, and you put in a new low. But on what? And what else? Okay, what else happened? Okay, what else happened? So if I pull this back down here, where am I at? Right here. Yeah, right there. What happened was on the pullback after I exited my position, what did we have? All right, we had a decrease in volume, guys, on the pullback. And then, more importantly, look at the increase in volume back to the sell side. That was your sign that you can take this trade again if you didn't get the first entry. You had a second entry, and stocks that do that usually tend to just go all day. That's a momentum type of trade there. And it was. And I called it out. I called it out in chat. I told you before I took it. I told you as I took it. I talked you through the trade. Now, if we had members here, I would have told you, guys, unless this stock gets up here, gets above VWAP in this area and starts, and what do I mean by getting up here? I mean like closing up here. It starting to close above yesterday's high. That's telling me we pulled back to hold it. Now we're going to go up to the upside. But again, when you get a 2 million share sell candle in a 3-minute candle, it's going to be hard to find some buyers. They're going to be scared to take it because that thing will reverse on them any minute. All right. There's a lot of selling up here. So Baba fell out of bed. And if you were on this trade, depending on who you are, you had by 11 o'clock, guys, by 11 o'clock, you had almost 100%. In the contracts I was in. Obviously, if you went further down, they probably went a $1.50 or 150%, all that. Again, I was just trying to get green under my belt and just get in the saddle. I've been making trades, but I'm just, guys, I'm waiting for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Really, Thursday and Friday are the days I'm waiting for. And tomorrow, because I'm going to be prepared, I'm going to be locked in, and I'm ready to nail it. I'm ready to hit it out the park. All right, so this was a beautiful trade. All right, that candle right there told me everything I knew, or had everything that I needed to know. I said, hey, guys, a bounce back to VWAP, the first bounce back we get, I'm getting short. And I couldn't, dude, literally, I had entered my order right here on this tail, literally. It went up. As it started to pull back and reject off VWAP, I was entering it. And, I had my reasons why. So, and believe it or not, this was still, actually, guys, I'm sorry. I may have held this thing back down to here, below the close. So, I do apologize. I'll have to go in my order book. I know I took profit here because what I did was on the pullback off of VWAP, through the level is when I took my first piece off, and then we got the extension to the close, and I've taken X amount off because now I know if I start to get like a break back up here, I could lock it in with profit. All right, I can lock it in with profit. All right, I don't know. I have to look at the time that I got out. I may have gotten out here because I can't even remember what the contracts were. I don't know if they were like 160 maybe. Yeah, I think they might have been like 160 or 140 because I'd said 280 to get 100. I can't remember. It was either like 120 or 160 I got in. Because I bought the 96 calls, and there's a reason why, or 96 puts. There's a reason why I got the 96 too. Because I also want to get into, the part of the option that's liquid. I want high volume and I want high interest. That way I know my spreads are going to be decent. Or like that, like I'm going to get the best price whether I have limit orders, market order, because I just want in. And I don't care paying an extra 2-3 cents for something that I know is potentially going to give me 80, 50, 200, 100%. I also traded, again, Bank of America, and I traded, whatchamacallit. I did trade, so I took the short on Bank of America right when we got the news off the 9 EMA. Bang, took it. Took my profits off. Again, this one, because we weren't sure if the news was good or not, but it's like, until reading upon, like, because you didn't really get, like, you didn't get what exactly was going on when the news came out. It wasn't like, hey, they're going to start you just got, like, there's rumors of a merge. They're merging. Okay. Well, I guess now we know there's only one reason. They're merging for liquidity reasons. There's something going on. It may not be California Bank. Maybe it's both. Maybe they're both doing it. They're just like, hey, let's just get together and, like, do what we can. We'll turn ourselves into one bigger bank. And then Carvana. This was a tough one here for me today. I got sucked in. It came out. It was on the scanners. It started making highs. I said, let's see if we put in a belly. Maybe we're starting to do it now with a higher high, like a higher low. See if it curls up. Again, I will repeat myself. This is going to be, in the sense, it might be hard to get this thing to go to new highs because we may not have a bunch of people that are in the market still from like we did 2020, 2021. They don't have a bunch of checks. They're not just sitting on free money, you know, so liquidity, people talking about it, stuff like that. But there is a huge short interest on this, guys. So I would expect if it does not sell off and get below this area here, if it starts, like I've been saying, if it starts sticking this level and it just starts going like this and curling itself up, by the end of this week, or I mean, by the end of next week, in the next week, you could start to see this thing go and attempt to try and break this triple top that you have here. All right, that's Carvana. Again, I went over the basic basic metals, I think is what it was. We can look at Bitcoin also real quick. Yeah, so look at basic materials, technology. How do they? Oh, AMD. There's a lesson there. AMD. I did not take the trade because I was good. I was okay. I had some money, and again, I'm being patient for the move, for a nice big move. Yes, I had it on Baba, but I'm going to trade GDP numbers. I'm going to be trading this Japan, Fed, PCE, all that inflation data. So, AMD. What was I looking at AMD for? Well, we recovered. You see how you just sit flat here for 2 days? That's a sign that the downtrend's no longer intact, and you should start to look for the upside. Just like I was showing you guys with the SPY. See how you just had down day, down, and now it's just consolidating. It's consolidating. And what happens here? Like it's like, okay, we've consolidated. Can we go lower? Nope, you gap up. And that gap up holds. You break off the open, and you rally. Okay? We rallied. So what do I want to see here? So when we came up to this double top and you started holding up above this area, see this wick where you closed up here? You closed up in where these wicks were. Now you've made where the sellers were. If I were to draw a line right here, well, you have your line now. You can see the wicks. See the wicks? And then right here where it closed. Well, look what happened. You closed right on it. Okay? You closed right on it. So what I was thinking was, I was like, okay, now we've literally claimed, we have claimed that previous, shit, I messed it up, but whatever, this area right here. So we have claimed and turned that double top resistance into support now. Where can we go? So if I pull up at like this time that I was looking at it, I don't know if I had pre-market on or not, so it might be a little different. So right around here, 112.21, okay, is VWAP. 112.21, 112.21, 112.21. So what I said was 112.21 was VWAP. I said, okay, where could we go to? All right, we've broken above VWAP. We've broken above the double top resistance that we've turned into support. Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Like, what's the target? Well, I went right to the daily, and what do we have here? We have the 50-day pulling up to the top end of the range, right? The 50-day is at 114.50. All right, 114.50. Now, if I pull up 114.50 here. Where's 114.50? 114.50. Right here. Okay, so just under this area of resistance. Pretty much this previous resistance where it turned it into support. Maybe I got to pan it out. See how we come up? Resistance. Go again, resistance. And now we go up. We break above it. Boom. Double top. Come down. Okay, we're at 114.80. Okay. But it's still 114.50. It's the middleman. That was the target. Where did we go to? 114.62. We didn't quite get there. But I was noticing on the daily that the 50-day is up there, 114.50. We have now made and locked in a support at a higher level, we're going to the upside. Where's my target? I could look for the 50-day on the daily, which was at 114.50, and that would be the target. The target, which would match roughly around an area of resistance or support. Okay, so this is where I was looking at for AMD to take the long. I didn't take it, and we did get quite a bit of an extension move there, guys. Like, look at the extension. You got it. You pretty much got it. You got to 114, 50 cents off, but still. And and that's how a lot of institutional traders think. It's like it's like professional traders. That's where they think. Where are we going? Okay, we have a move. We're coming up off of the lows. What's our target? Obviously we're going to look for resistance, but you want more than just resistance. Like, what else matches up? You want to pile on, not like a whole bunch of stuff, but you want to pile on, okay, I got the 50-day right here at 114. I got a major level of resistance right here at 114. Chances are it's going to 114. All right. So, I also thought about Nvidia today. Didn't trade. Like I said, I took Alibaba. That was that. Like I say, and when I call out trades, I talk them through them and stuff. I didn't, buddy. Sorry about that. How you doing, Brody? Tegan, how you doing, guy? My guy. Let's look at Dish. Dude, listen. You know what's so funny about Dish? Tegan? If you go back, right? If we go back to the daily, at this bottom end of it here, I'm gonna be looking to play Dish. So again, if things work out, I get a trade going. I'm gonna actually chart it right now. What's funny about Dish is that there were the CEO, like there were board members buying more of Dish. I don't know if you know this. This was like 2, 3, 4 months ago. This was like maybe January, like I'm gonna say maybe it was towards like the beginning or end of the year. All right, there was a lot of board members, the CEO buying more. He was using his own money to buy more Dish. Maybe they had talks with Amazon and it just took a while or not Amazon, but it took a while for the deal to get through, man. So there's Dish right up above the 100-day and it's rallied. This could be a great trade, man. This could be a great trade, bro. Yeah, since May. So there you go. But there was also a sign there, man, with the CEO, putting his own money to work. That's another sign. That's another playbook there where you see it. It's just a matter of time when it happens. If I were to trade this, okay, so first we have the weekly chart. I like, if this thing starts coming up, what's going to happen? The 50-day, the 50 weekly moving average is going to curl up. It's going to curl itself up. What's it going to do? This is how you want to predict future price action, right? So obviously I have an area of support right there, right? I also have the 50-day poking its head right there down through it. Now, if we get a nice rally, this thing is going to poke itself back up. Longer term, let's go to the daily chart, obviously, is what we got to do. What else do we have? We have the 200-day. We've already broken above the 100-day. I think we could probably get this thing. Let's see if we get volume in it tomorrow. I will be watching Dish tomorrow with you. I'm going to be watching that. First, I'm going to watch, obviously, the Microsoft, Google. I don't know what I'm going to do with Google. I will watch it. But Microsoft is the one because I feel like Microsoft's either going to bounce up to a level and then get sold off and go test that 50-day, or it's going to be a little pain in the ass and just stay there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still going to do some research tonight, go over stuff. Opening the Dish IV. Oh, is it? Here's it. Okay. Are you already in it, Tegan? Because if you are in it, what I would say is if the IV is high, that's when you want to sell because you're going to get your max profit then, and then look for a pullback. Yeah, you've been in it. Me personally, it's hard. Here's the thing, because what happens if we just rally slowly and people forget about it, and then the IV isn't there? I would personally take advantage of IV. I can't tell you what to do with your money again, but what I would do is I would take advantage of that IV. Okay, I would maybe take half off, take a quarter off, lock some of that in. You've been sitting on it. It's giving you what you've been waiting for. You got what you wanted. I would see what happens tomorrow too. Maybe there's going to be more volatility, which is going to increase, your IV, which is going to pay you more in premium, and then just, see how it does. All right, let's go to the chart then real quick. Let's just go to like a 15-minute first. So you've had your pullback rally. Chances are, what do you think we test this $8.30 is the level I would first go to. If that breaks, you got to look at high a day. But I don't think you get to high a day, because I think this news, I don't think the market or buyers, I don't think they would let it pull all the way back in and then step in and buy it. They're going to be buying it on the way down, and it's not going to get there. So if I go to, I wonder there's nothing there for me to look at. This thing is curling up nice though. I would expect a pullback, but you got news. There's news. News trumps technical levels all day long. All day long it does. You've broken out. Yes. Well, then there you go. There you go, dude. You got to take your profits, especially when theta's up like that. That IV, I mean. Theta will kill you. It will kill you. But you can also use theta in a way that, it can help you. If you know what it is, you can use it to help you make money too. But yeah, dude, if the IV is high, man, we lock it in, dude. Lock it in. You got what you wanted. Take your profits. Let's move into something else. Let's make some money elsewhere. Snap opening. Where did it close at? Pre-market, I'm saying. After hours. Let's see. So, no, that's Dish. Let's go to Snap. So, Snap, look, it tailed off of this level. I'm going to look for a bounce back to possibly be sure to get. Dude, this is nuts. This is nuts, man. You got a winner in your hands, Birdie. I don't know why I've been saying that. You got to look. It's there now. Shoot. I'm going to look, man, honestly. Here's what I'm going to look for. If the stock is still like where it's at now, or if you get a slight gap up, I'm going to look to get short. I would look to get short right here at this level. I would look to get short right here. Turn this previous level into resistance. I would look to get short right there. I'm going to make this bigger. Let's make it like a 3. And we'll make it red. I'm going to get short right there. This is where I want to get short. You have a double top. Now let me take off. Let's go to a 30-minute. Let me take off after hours and pre-market to make sure I don't have a gap that I'm missing. If there's any gaps anywhere that it could go up, fill the gap, and then sell off. But we do not. Does not look like we do. This is a perfect area of reset. Look at this candle here. Can you see that? This is why this area is a perfect level. Because now the buyers that were buyers are now probably going to be sellers. That was a horrific EBITDA. That it was awful. They're losing money. If they need money again, they've got to pay more interest on it. They're going to get less money because they're not making any money. All right? They're going to have to pay more taxes. Now, with Snap, you don't have to really worry about the consumer, but advertising revenue is down because nobody's there. So with all these things, if like things do get bad and they got to raise money, and it's not worth going to the bank and then they take it out of the share price and just dilute the shares, they probably don't want to do that, but we're coming into an environment that's not healthy. And I honestly expect more of Snap. I expect more companies to draw down like Snap. These tech companies that are trading again at 50, 60, 70 times earnings, 30, 40 times earnings, and the valuation doesn't match up with their earnings, it's going to sell off. Again, you're either a growth stock, or a value stock. And if you're not growing, you're going down. And if you ain't bringing no value, you're going down. All right. Just remember those things. So I'm going to look for, Tegan, I'm going to look for the bounce back to this double top guy. Sorry. Why do I say that? Tegan, I'm sorry. Right here is actually another good level. See this double top? That double top lines right up with the with this base. Right there too. So those are my areas where I want to see a bounce back and then, take it to the short side. And those IVs still might be pretty decent because of that move. But I will get some time on it because I think this thing could go back to $8, $9. 10 feels like a home, but, with that earnings, it was bad. It was so bad. So look at this flat top. You have where you see you have your resistance here, right? We have 1, 2, 3. Oh, shoot. And this is funny, guys, because I tell this to members all the time. Usually you'll have a 3 up and out. Doesn't happen all the time, but usually it's 3 times. You still hold and then bang. What do you have? 1, 2, 3, and then the high volume surge because it's not breaking down. It's starting to put in, you got a double bottom there with a higher low. Boom, and then it pulls back to get support. So there is your support now. What was support is now broken, and it should turn it into resistance. So if you can't see it, 1075, I am short. No, it should not go above them. No, it should not. It should rally to it. It should how do I do this? Let me see here. What I'm trying to say is it should do this. Watch. It should off the bell. So this is the level, okay? This is the level right here. Let me switch it up for you. So what I'll look for in the morning is like if this is the stock. If the stock comes down pre-market before the bell, okay, and it kind of just consolidates, right? Bell opens, boom, you get like a little bit of buying, right? And then boom, short. You get maybe a bounce back to VWAP, boom, and then we take it, and then this thing goes down. That's what I'm looking for, right? That's what I'm looking for. But like over here, over at that level. I should have actually did it at the level. So what I'm saying is if like tomorrow morning, let's say tomorrow we gap up to like right here, right? We're right there. I want to see us kind of like chop around, right? We'll chop around, whatever. We'll do our thing, right? And then we'll start to, maybe even comes down here to test this level, right? You chop around. We test this $10 level, and then you start to see buying. Remember this for tomorrow and see if this plays out, okay? We pull back. Well, and then off the bell, boom, we get up into that level, right? And then maybe it even puts in a little wick where it gets like right up above it. It gets like right up above it. Boom. We come down to hit that level again, turn it into resistance. Boom. Hit VWAP now. Bang. And then we hit that, bounce, shake them out, and then break the level. All right? That's what I'm looking for. I want to look for a bounce back short. Could we get past it? I don't know, because that's a major, major resistance level for it. Let me see your comment real quick. Diamond hands is... How long have I been trading? I've been trading about 7 years, probably 8. About 8 years. I stopped counting, buddy. I stopped counting. So, again, I think that the earnings were just so bad that it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So it's not like they can say anything to like say, hey, maybe they try to. Maybe they try to come out with some kind of statement. But I think this area here is just too big. I think this is too big of a resistance. So sorry that this looks messy. But I want to see it chop. See how it's bouncing off this level? You get these tails. in pre-market. I'm going to see it bounce. I want to see it get up, all right? And then what happens is you might even get a pop. If there's a lot of people taking puts, they'll be taking profit off the open. It'll bounce back. 1075, 1078. It can wick through it a little bit. That's what I want to see to get some more downside. Here's the thing that I do want you to know about, though. This is a huge move. All right? It was bad. It was a bad earnings. So I would not expect it. I just don't know if it can get back up to fill the gap or anything. I think it sees more downside than it does upside. I mean, what else do I say? That's obvious. So what happens if it breaks 1075? 1075 breaks, right? Okay. This is why you just watch it. You have puts, take them off in the morning. You don't know what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. My next area that I would look to get short, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to let the stock do what it needs to do. I'm going to read the tape, the time in sales. I'm going to read time in sales. I'm going to be reading level 2. All right. Where is the area of resistance that I want to get short? So if this area doesn't act as resistance, which it was resistance, so it should still act as resistance because it was a resistance with a double top, like 1, 2, pulled back, and then it broke. Okay. But right here, you pulled back in. See how it pulls back into the level? Brings in buyers. Boom, you rallied. See how it breaks this level? Breaks the level, pulls back, hits it, bang. That was a 2-day, 3-day pullback. It rallies, pulls back, boom. The pullback is that it's strong, so it's in an uptrend. So traders, buyers, institutional people, anybody who's trying to buy that want to go long, they just need to make money. They got to put money to work. If a stock is in an uptrend, you don't just buy it in an uptrend because as soon as you buy it, it pulls back, whatever. So you wait for the pullback, put it on. It's in an area now that's support again. That's a double bottom right here. Just trying to show you the basics of trading and stuff. You got the rally. You break the level. It holds it. See these tails? It's holding it. This is a 4-hour chart. It puts in a little cup. It goes into this area, turns it into resistance, pulls back. On that pullback, you get buyers. Look at the volume here. Boom. And then you break the level. You didn't even have to try. You broke it. So, worst case scenario. Now, again, I'm not a psychic. So, all I'm trying to do, it's probability. If this is not resistance tomorrow, if 1075, 1080, I'm sorry. If $10.80, it does, if it does break that level and goes through it, my next level that I'm going to look to get short would be here at this pivot high. And that is 1113. So it's not too far away. All right. We're going to see tomorrow during market hours what happens. So we're going to see, let's just say, I want to see this thing chop around in the morning, maybe rally pre-market before the bell, and it start to rally. Retail traders say, hey, Snap is starting to rally. I want to take it long. They take it long right into this level, and then it sells off right out underneath of them. It traps them to the long side. It brings in buyers when it starts to go up. And bringing in buyers also means bringing in sellers. Those sellers get filled on buyers. So that's also part of the game that I just want to see it chop, pull up, bang, resistance. I want to see it go down further. It's made a big move already. I would too. I would love to see it for you, Tegan. It's going to be hard because you already have a massive move. Those contracts are going to pay you. You're going to get paid on those contracts. Let's see. Well, again, it's about revenue. Revenue as in, I think they brought in new, let's see. Let's pull it up. What did happen? What happened there? So, Snap, let me see. I'll tell you exactly what it is right now. So the revenue, like I said, Snap revenue falls amid efforts to retool ad business. Because they're also spending money because they have a lot of AI stuff that they were trying to do also. So that means they've taken a lot of capital and tried to put it to work to make more money, and it's not working, it seems like. Revenue and earnings per share beat. Q3 guidance update on. So adjusted Tuesday. But their EBITDA was awful, though. I remember that. They had negative EBITDA. EBITDA is interest before earnings, taxation, amortization, depreciation. Or depreciation before amortization. Doesn't matter how you say it. It's just, all right? So negative EBITDA means that you're not making any money at the end of the day. After you bring in the money that you get from ads, from wherever you get it, and you pay your bills, you have nothing left. Matter of fact, you're negative. You did not bring in enough to pay for the building, the employees, the cars, maybe the listing on the NASDAQ, and all the paper, because when they file things with the SEC and stuff, that also costs money. It's also, I'm sure, a write-off. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not a tax advisor, but so social media company Snap reported second quarter financial results after market close Tuesday. Here are the key highlights. Street consensus estimate of $1.5 billion. The company reported a loss of 2 cents per share. So there again is a loss, which beat a street estimate of a loss of 4 cents. So they just didn't do as bad. But again, you got to think about where it's trading at. When they did earnings last quarter, they didn't expect it to be at $13, $14. That earnings was off of like an $8, $7 stock. And they said, okay, 4 cents. Well, they did too. So, okay, you're at 12, 13, 14. Maybe now you're like a $9, $10 stock where it's at. Maybe. But that EBITDA was bad. I'm pretty sure that negative 200 and some, it should have it on here. That was bad. And again, that's your total earnings before you pay your bills and shareholders even. So it's right here. Snap sees investments in artificial intelligence and other items impacting adjusted EBITDA going forward. We're down 52-week range from 7. So where's the EBITDA at? It's not on here. It should be on here, but they brought it up. So, yeah, they're down 20%, man. That's, So, challenges for Snap. I want to know where the EBITDA is at. I don't know if you guys see it on here. That's what I want to know. And look, non-GAAP loss per share unchanged. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not bad at all. But revenue drops. Their quarter outlook issued. I want to see their EBITDA because that was also a killer. I don't see it on here. So that's all, man. It is what it is. You got a good one. So Q2 loss of 24 cents a share. Blah, 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 blah. Daily active users, 397, greater than 97 million. Loss, revenue 1.7, a loss of 377 million. Maybe that's what it was. A negative EBITDA of 377 million. I knew it was something like that. That might be what that's referring to. We could go Snap. Hold on. I actually should make this stuff bigger, but I don't think the words get bigger. That's the problem. Yeah, the words don't get bigger. No. I don't think they get bigger. Yeah, the words don't get bigger, so. But, guys, join us tomorrow morning, 7:30. We're going to cover the news. Wherever these stocks open, we're going to come up with our game plan. All right? You guys have stocks too. We're going to go over them. Oh, absolutely. I make them live. Yeah. I'll even, when I do it on YouTube, when I'm trading live, I will actually speed it up as fast as I can. I try to not have a delay. Like this live stream, I won't go through YouTube, but it goes through YouTube. But I use another source to be able to so that the latency is not there. But again, before the market opens, I talk about what I think. I talk about the trades I'm looking at. What do I want to see? Where do I want to enter? Where do I want to exit? Where's my stop loss? All right. Before the market opens, In the morning I come, because at like 9:15 pre-market, you'll start to see a move. And then we got to say, all right, did our move change? Did our opinion change? Because if I want to be long and it's already ripped and it's already almost at the level and they took it away pre-market, then I'll say, hey, I'm going to look at a pullback now because that move's been taken away. And then second, before I make the trade, I'm talking it out like, all right, guys, I'm looking at this. I was saying I want to be short at 200. We're at 198.50. I'm gonna see how much more upside we got. I got orders placed. Sometimes if I'm short, not sometimes, but if I'm short, I'll already put out, and I'll tell you, I have an order out at $255 short Meta. Or if I'm buying options, I'll say this 250. I'm going to be short going into the level. So as it rises and it's getting to my level, I'm getting short or buying puts in that strength because that's going to help give me the best price of those options. And then I talk us through the trade. I say, all right, we get some downside. We get that pullback. I'm taking a piece off. We'll wait for a pullback. It'll go back up. And then when it comes down and makes a new low, I'll take profit on a new low. And then I'll sit back. I've got profit off. And then I'll say, all right, if I see this, that means the trade's changed. The upside is, or the downside's not there. Now it's obviously upside. I'm going to be out. I talk all through it because it helps me through my trades. And then maybe if you guys in chat see something different and like, hey, wait, there's news, or you want to watch being short at this level, there's a bunch of buyers. We're just here to help each other. That's all it is, a place where we can all go to and make some money together. Free 99. So again, man, if you guys could like, share, and subscribe, it would be great. So that's what I want to see, my guy. You have a great night, Tegan. I appreciate you stopping by. It's good to meet you. God bless you, my friend. You had a great day, bro. You had a great day. I'm really happy for it. That's what I like to see. Just don't get over your skis. Now you're going to feel good. I just don't want you to go over your skis and then a trade reverse on you. I've had some bad, I don't really trade earnings. Sometimes I will if I just YOLO. I'll put some light money to work for reasons like now. Yeah, man, you too, Tegan. Like now we're starting to see these mid-cap technology companies start to they're trading at these earnings that they can't keep up with. And when earnings come out, if they can't perform, they're probably going to get hit. So this is the second one. I've said this Sunday night, Monday night, coming into the week. I want to watch these small or mid-cap, mid-cap/large cap technology companies start to report earnings and not meet the price that they're trading at. Pretty much. Thanks, guys. You guys have a great night. I'll be on early tomorrow morning. I'll probably be on here 7 o'clock. Join us. It'll be live. And again, if you could, like, share, and subscribe. It's just me here. It takes a lot of time to, put this stuff together and also come up with trade plans for us, do my research and all that other stuff. So it's a lot of work. So that little bit's appreciated. Have a great night, guys. We will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Get ready for the day. We have Fed Pal. We'll have Fed Pal right here live also. All right. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning.